We're in southern Colorado hunting rutting bull elk with some of our past EBJ hunt winners.
Holy smokes, grab yourself some bone there, dude.
This doesn't seem real. This is like what dreams are made
Smell
of
what
right
elk
here.
smell like?
Yeah.
Another happy hunt winner?
Oh, man. Yeah.
We're looking forward to drawing a name out of the hat for this year, and hopefully it'll be your name. We're gonna start off with one of my favorite hunt winners, Danny Genry. Danny's our youngest hunt winner ever at only 21 years old. He's from North Dakota, and Danny's never seen an elk. Now, Danny's only been a subscriber to the magazine for less than 6 weeks. He hasn't even got his first issue of the magazine in the mail yet. So he thought this hunt was a hoax, but when he shows up in Colorado on the first night he starts seeing bugling bulls for the first time, he realizes this is no hoax, this is the real deal. On the first night of the hunt, wouldn't you know it, we come across a really nice 340 bull I call Goofy, and he's not quite the bull that Danny's looking for. Of course, this is Danny's first bull elk, so I'm having to try to talk him out of shooting this bull because I think we can do better and we can find a prettier bull for Danny. So we decide to make a pass on Goofy and look for a bigger, prettier bull for Danny to put his tag on. Second evening of the hunt, Paul and I decide to go into a deep, dark canyon and ease our way up the bottom real slow. We're hoping those bulls hold into that canyon where it's a little bit cooler. We end up at the top end of the canyon, and just as it gets dark, a big bull steps out. This bull has a very noticeable growler-type bugle, and he's above us in the canyon. He hears us down in the bottom. He thinks we're cow elk. He's trying to bugle us up out of the canyon to him. But he's 350 yards in the top of the canyon and never offers Danny a shot. So we decide to play it safe, pull out of the canyon, and come back in the morning to try to get a shot at the bull. The morning of day 4 starts out real slow, but the afternoon starts to pick up as we hit a rut fest. But the big bull isn't found yet. We go on through the rut fest and up deeper into the canyon. And once you know it, we hear a bugle that is exactly the one we've been looking for. That big 6x7 is at the head of the canyon with some cows, but he's bedded down in the brush and we can't see him. But Paul and I are 90% sure it's the big bull just based on his bugle. The evening is nearing and we know just before dark that big bull's gonna stand up and push his cows down into the bottom of the canyon to feed. We wait and we wait and we wait, and Danny is getting more and more nervous as time goes on and it starts to get dark. Finally, his cows start to filter out of the brush and the big bull finally makes it to his feet. Now Danny has to wait for the bull to go through an opening. Keep in mind, Danny's 21 years old. This is his first elk hunt, so this shot is really gonna have to count. And sure enough, that big bull eases right through that opening, and Danny squeezes the trigger and makes the perfect shot right through the heart of that big bull.
We got it. We got it.
Let's go. Stay with it. Keep looking at him again. Look. Nice shot. Congratulations to Danny for making a perfect shot just when it counted. You know, that big 360-inch bull started it all off. We may have created a monster with Danny Genry. I still keep in contact with him, and he's hunted all over the West now, and he just enjoys doing DIY, public land, backcountry hunts. Wherever offers an opportunity for a good hunt, Danny Genry is there.
This still doesn't even, I don't know, this doesn't seem real. This is like what dreams are made
Smell
of
what
right
elk
here.
smell like?
Yeah.
In 2011, we pulled a name out of the hat from Bakersfield, California. The guy's name was Tobias, and he's one of my favorite hunt winners. This guy had a lot of character and was a lot of fun to be around. Kurt's family's been in the farming implement business for generations, and he's done a lot of elk hunting. He's killed a really nice bull with his bow down in New Mexico, but he's never killed a really big bull. On the first night of the hunt, Kurt and Paul and I take a peek into a canyon that has produced some really good bulls for us in the past. We have no idea what's in here, but we hear a bull bugling down in the bottom. We get all set up, and patience pays off. The biggest bull I've ever seen in Colorado up to this point steps out of the timber. The bull's at over 400 yards, and he is rutting hard. Kurt is all set up to take a shot, and he wants to try to make a shot on the bull. But Paul and I know that a wounded bull is definitely not the situation we're looking for here.
How far is he? You sure it's too far? I got a rock solid rest, 400 yards, that's not bad.
We think we could come back the next day, find the bull again, and get him in closer. So reluctantly, Captain Kurt decides to put his bullets back in his pocket and come back the next day to try to find the bull again and get closer. This is hunting. We come back the next day and we can't find the bull anywhere. There's other bulls where he was, but definitely not the big one. Kurt, after seeing that big bull, he nicknames him Luther, and he is bound and determined to go home with that bull or nothing on this hunt. Late in the morning on the fourth day of the hunt, Paul and I finally set eyes on the big bull. He's moving from one drainage to another over the top.
I'm pretty sure that he's up on top of the plateau around the corner.
Just as we crest over the top and start to ease down into the canyon the bull disappeared into. So we quickly get haphazardly set up, and Paul makes a real faint squeak on a cow call. That's all it takes. The bull comes charging right up out of the bottom, straight at us. He's only at 40 yards, and I can't tell if it's the big bull or not. Once the bull gets to 32 yards, he realizes something's up.
Oh yeah, I think it might be him.
The words no sooner left my lips, and Captain Kurt dropped the hammer right on the bull's shoulder. Paul and I weren't sure if he hit the bull or not. It was so close from the smoke from the rifle we couldn't see where the bullet hit. But the bull disappeared down over the edge, and Captain Kurt packs his stuff up and starts heading over to the dead bull.
There's Luther.
Sure enough, as soon as we crested over the edge of the hill, we saw the dead bull piled up. Captain Kurt had managed to make a snap shot perfectly behind the bull's shoulder and right into his heart. Yet another one-shot kill for a hunt winner in Colorado on a huge bull elk.
My goal as a guide is to get my guys close. I hope that was close enough
That
for you.
was close enough. And the thing I like about it is we worked for him. Makes it that more memorable.
In 2012, my brother Ike and the gals at the office pulled me a hunt winner from Omaha, Nebraska, of all places. Dan Miller, who's originally from Wisconsin, has zero elk hunting experience, so this is going to be really exciting for Dan. On day 3, Paul and I decide to go do some blind calling into some canyons. About the third canyon we hit, a bull lights up real hard. This bull is definitely callable, and Paul and I know we can get him in close. We get Dan all set up, and Paul starts bugling and calling. The bull comes down the canyon, into the bottom, and up the other side to us. He's really, really hot. The problem is, he's only got one horn. The bull blows a bugle right in his face at 10 feet.
Was that worth your $25 subscription, Dan?
On the third day of the hunt, Paul and I decide to head to a big meadow that has produced some good bulls for us in the past. Right before dark, a big bull emerges, but we can't seem to close the distance. This meadow is so huge and so open that once these bulls get out into the middle, you're in trouble. You can't get any closer than 500 yards from the bulls. So Paul and I pull out and decide to come back the next evening.
Gotta let him get closer.
On the fourth evening of the hunt, Dan, Paul, and I decide to head back to the meadow where we'd seen the big bull the night before. We change up our strategy and come in from a different side. We get out on the last finger of timber out into the meadow, hoping that when the elk emerge, they're gonna be within shooting distance. As the shadows begin to grow long, the elk start to emerge into the meadow. And to our surprise, there wasn't one big bull, now there's two. We want to get Dan a shot that's less than 300 yards, and so far the bulls are paralleling back and forth at 400 or 500 yards away. Dan is a little confused on which big bull to shoot, but Paul and I clear it up by saying whichever bull gets under 300 yards, we're going to take. After about 45 minutes of this posturing and rutting activity, finally one of the big bulls steps in to 297 yards. Dan squeezes the trigger and knocks out the big bull's spine.
The hunt winner just smoked a big bull.
Yet another one-shot kill for an EBJ Eastman's hunt winner.
Another happy hunt winner?
Oh, man. Yeah.
In 2014, we drew Russell Pierce's name out of the hat.
Yeah, so we've got 3 bulls within about 300 yards of us right now.
Now Russell lives just up the road from us in Billings, Montana, where he works for his family RV business. Being from Montana, Russell's a pretty experienced elk hunter. But this hunt is going to be a little different than what he's used to. We're going to be hunting elk during the rut with a rifle, which you can't do in Montana. So the first evening of the hunt, Paul and I head into a canyon where we know some bulls have been bugling. Sure enough, we get to within 300 yards of some good bulls, but nothing Russell wants to put his tag on. On the second day of the hunt, Paul and I decide to change it up and hunt the water.
So Russell, tonight we're hunting in a place that I like to call the store. The store is a huge meadow. It's probably 3 miles long, a mile wide, and we're going to try to guess to within about 200 yards of where the elk are going to come for water.
Just like clockwork, right before dark, the elk start to emerge out of the timber. There's some really nice bulls in this bunch. Just as we're starting to get hopeful that one of these bulls is going to work to within 300 yards, out of the corner of our eye steps some more elk we hadn't seen before, coming from the left side of the meadow. And wouldn't you know it, in with these cows is a giant of a bull we had not seen before. This bull is almost within range right away. Russell's very patient, all set up for the shot. Paul is watching the bull and ranging him. The bull and his cows start out at 500 yards, then 450, then 400, 350, 300, 250, and when the bull gets within 240 yards, Paul gives Russell the okay to drop the hammer.
Hit him again. Hit him again. He's down, he's down, he's down. Dude, you shot yourself.
After a few follow-up shots, Russell Pierce has dropped the biggest bull of any of our hunt winners. This bull is a 370-inch plus giant of a bull. Probably one of the prettiest 6-point bulls I've ever set eyes on. Just remember, you have the same chance of winning that hunt as any of these guys that were on this show did. So make sure you subscribe to Eastman's Bow Hunting and Eastman's Hunting Journal. Get your name in the hat, and hopefully Ike will be calling you next August to tell you to pack your bags. You're headed to Colorado to chase some big bugling bulls during the rut.